Hey, what's happening everybody? This is Elite Kicks back with the weekly video. In today's video, guys, we're going to be talking about the upcoming fall Jordan Reserve. I put out a poll on my Instagram seeing what you guys wanted me to talk about. A majority, I think it was 80-something%, was like, let's talk about the Jordan Reserve. I do have the episode 2 of Why You Keep Losing on Sneakers. That episode was going to be talking about mimicking bot activity. As a manual users, you guys do so many things that mimic bot activity that makes your account get filtered out. We'll leave that for next week. This week we'll talk about the upcoming Jordan Reserve. So before I get into that, guys, I want to just mention one thing I've noticed with the sneakers and the Nike app. Has it been glitching for you guys a lot recently? I don't know, for me, whenever I'm entering for the recent drops, it just either takes forever to enter. Sometimes I don't even get an entry in. I don't know what's going on. Either there's a lot more users putting in, or Nike needs to update their servers. I don't know what's going on. Nike needs to get it fixed, because if people aren't able to get their entries in, people aren't able to cop, and people are going to get really frustrated. We're going to be back to talking about sneakers versus the Flex app entry results too, because that's also extremely annoying. But let me know what you guys think. Are you guys having the same issues? Because people have told me that they've been having a lot of issues. I'm telling you guys, I'm having a lot of issues as well too. So in today's video, guys, we're going to be talking about the upcoming Jordan Reserve, when it possibly could happen, the upcoming sneakers that are most likely going to be loaded up on the Jordan Reserve based off the information that I've been getting. And we'll wrap up with that. We'll wrap up with those two main points, guys. So when is it going to be happening? So what I can tell you guys is this, is that the way I look at Jordan Reserves is I have certain information that does come to me. I use that in combination with looking at when was the last Jordan Reserve. Usually a Jordan Reserve or a Dunk Reserve usually comes in about every 2 to 4 months. We're now hitting that point where about 3 months. I think the last Jordan Reserve was around maybe the July-August time period. So you're getting to about 2-ish, 3-ish months or so. And that last one wasn't particularly the best one. I know there was certain sneakers that restock on Sneakers Live, but I'm not counting that. I'm talking about an actual full-blown Jordan Reserve where you got 4 or 5 sneakers that you can go for. So with that in mind, what does that mean for when the next Jordan Reserve will happen? You'll also notice usually what Nike does with Jordan Reserves and Dunk Reserves is that when there's a dry week or a super dry couple of weeks, that's when they'll do the Jordan Reserve. And let's be honest, guys, we're probably entering that time period where we're going to have a dry couple of weeks. Personally, I think the next biggest shoe to drop is going to be the Jordan 4 Midnight Navies at the end of the month. So it's likely what we'll probably see is a Jordan Reserve before the Midnight 4 Navies. So let me repeat that. We're likely to see a Jordan Reserve before the Midnight 4 Navies. If it's not going to be then what will probably end up happening is it could be the week after that. Sometime around that end of October, November-ish time period is when we'll likely see it. I don't think we'll see it around holiday season. It's possible you could see a holiday Jordan Reserve, but Nike has a lot of shoes teed up and they want you to focus on going for those shoes, trying for those shoes. Now, if Nike doesn't do as well as expected, then yes, you will see a Jordan Reserve around that holiday time period. But what we're likely to see it is in the coming weeks, and this is information that has been passed along to me as well. I don't want to confirm a date. I'm a little worried about confirming a date only because if I put the information out there, then things can get shifted around. I'm just telling you guys, there is the likelihood of a Jordan Reserve coming up, and I want you guys to be prepared. Now, there's a lot of information floating around about what shoes to expect. So, one of the shoes that I saw floating around on the Twitterverse, the Instagramverse, was the Reverse Mocha Travis Scott. Somehow that was going to restock. I don't think that's going to be likely. If that is, we could see it as a European restock, but in the United States, I don't see that happening. There was a good amount of stock here in the United States. Everyone had their chance. If you got it, great. If you didn't, well, then you got to hit up the apps or you got to go to a local buyer and try to get it off them. Maybe a European restock, but not likely in the United States. But I will say I would be shocked if it restocked in general. Now, what we'll likely see is a Jordan 4 Military Black restock, 100%. Jordan 4s, they make a lot of quantity on them. Nike is getting additional pairs either returned to them or pairs that weren't purchased or additional pairs that were made of the Military Black that Nike held onto for the Jordan Reserve. We will likely see a Jordan Reserve involving the Military Black. We're also going to see the Jordan 3 Fire Reds. Now, personally, in my area here, the Fire Reds have been sitting. Now, when I say sitting, it's I saw them 1 week, I saw them the next week, and then 2 or 3 weeks later, they weren't there anymore. So, I don't know, it depends on what your definition of sitting for you is. For me, if a shoe sits for 2 or 3 weeks, if it's on the shelf, then that's considered sitting. The other shoe we're likely to see is the Jordan 1 Stage Haze. Now this shoe hit outlets. I was able to cop a pair at my local outlet for $80, which was an insane deal. We're likely to see it just because it hit outlets. It has been sitting in some outlets, and Nike again has held on to some stock so that it can do it, so that they can release it for a Jordan Reserve. Now Nike does that a lot. If you realize, wait, where is Nike getting all these pairs from? Nike always holds on to a certain amount of stock to generate more interest later on in a particular sneaker so they can release it. Other random sneakers you're likely to see in a Jordan Reserve, the Jordan 7 Citrus has been sitting left and right. You're gonna see that. And you're gonna also see the Jordan 6 Georgetown as well too. Now the Jordan 1 low, the bleach corals, the pink and black ones that came out around the same time as the highs as well too, the Stage Haze. You're likely to see that also restock as well. And I will say those are the majority of the sneakers that will likely restock. It's possible we see a Jordan 4 black canvas restock. I do think it's a little early for see a restock of that. What we're likely to see is that come up during a Jordan Reserve later this year, maybe post-holiday season, around the holiday season or in the new year. We're also likely to see at that time the Jordan 4 Midnight Navy restock as well too. And obviously you can't forget the Jordan 1 Chicago reimagined. I know it's called the Jordan 1 Lost and Found. It's going by various names, but that Jordan Reserve that comes at the end of this year, beginning of next year, that will be an amazing Jordan Reserve because you'll see the black canvas 4s, you're going to see the Midnight Navy 4s, and you're going to see the Jordan 1 Lost and Found. That is the video for today, guys. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. When do you guys think this Jordan Reserve will happen? What sneakers are going to be involved? Also, let me know if you guys are having issues recently with sneakers in the Nike app. Next week's video, again, guys, is going to be episode 2 of why we keep taking L's on sneakers, and we're going to be talking about mimicking bot activity. Are we mimicking bot activity that sort of filters out our accounts? And we'll talk about things that you guys are doing that mimics bot activity. With that, guys, this is Elite Kicks signing off. Take care, everybody.